Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something crucial, something that separates those who succeed from those who quit. It's about trusting the process. Yes, trusting the process even when life feels unfair, when doors seem closed, and when every day seems like a battle. Your breakthrough is coming, but you must hold on, grind, and believe. Listen to me carefully because this is where everything changes. If you want a breakthrough, if you want to see your life transform, you got to embrace the struggle. And I don't mean just tolerate it. I mean lean into it, run toward it, face it head on like it's your best friend. Because the truth is, the struggle is not your enemy. The struggle is not something to curse or avoid or wish away. The struggle is the workshop where your character is built. The struggle is the classroom where resilience is taught. And the struggle is the gym where your mind, your body, and your spirit are strengthened to carry the weight of success when it comes. You see, most people think success is about avoiding pain. Most people think success is about skipping over the hardships and getting straight to the rewards. But I'm here to tell you that success, real success, the kind that lasts, the kind that changes your life, the kind that leaves a legacy, cannot be reached without the struggle. You cannot avoid the hard days. You cannot dodge the moments that test your faith. You cannot run from the nights that feel endless, where the world seems to be against you, and the weight of your dreams feels heavier than you can bear. Those are the days that matter most. Those are the days that define you. I want you to picture something for me. Picture a blacksmith standing over a glowing furnace, holding a piece of steel in his hand. The steel is raw, unshaped. The blacksmith pulls it out of the fire, hammers it, bends it, twists it, beats it against the anvil, throws it back in the fire, and repeats this over and over again. Day after day after day, hour after hour, the steel takes shape. It's not pretty at first, it's hot, it's painful, sparks fly everywhere. The blacksmith's hands are blistered. Sweat drips down his face. Every strike feels exhausted. But after days, weeks, months, eventually that raw piece of metal becomes something strong, unbreakable, and powerful. That, my friend, is the process. That is exactly what your struggle is doing to you. You are the steel, and life is the blacksmith. And if you run from the fire, if you run from the blows, you will never become the thing you were meant to be. But if you embrace it, if you welcome it, if you let it shape you, then you will come out on the other side unbreakable. I know some of you are sitting there right now thinking, but my struggle's too big. I can't take it anymore. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I feel like giving up. And I hear you. I feel that. I've been there. I've stood in the middle of life feeling like I had nothing left to give, feeling like the weight of the world was pressing down on me so hard I could barely breathe. I've looked around and wondered why everyone else seemed to be moving forward while I was stuck in a loop of setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But here's the thing. Those moments are exactly what you need. Those moments are the ones that will prepare you for the life you want, for the success you're dreaming of, for the breakthrough that's waiting just around the corner. You see, the struggle is not a punishment. It's not a signal that you're failing. It's a sign that you're on the path. A sign that you're growing, a sign that you are being molded into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were yesterday. Think about every successful person you know. Every athlete, every entrepreneur, every artist, every leader, they all have stories of struggle. Michael Jordan didn't become the greatest basketball player by playing only when it was easy. He missed shots, lost games, got cut from teams, and faced critics who said he would never make it. J.K. Rowling didn't become one of the most successful authors in the world without facing rejection after rejection, struggling as a single parent, living on welfare, and battling self-doubt. Oprah Winfrey grew up with abuse, poverty, and heartbreak. Yet she became one of the most influencers in the world. Do you know what all of these people have in common? They embraced the struggle. They didn't run from it. They didn't try to skip the hard work. They went through it. They learned from it. And because of it, they reach heights that others only dream about. Your struggle is no different. Your story is no different. The moment you decide to embrace it, to welcome it as part of your journey, everything changes. Now, let me be real with you for a second. Embracing the struggle is not easy. It's painful, it's exhausting. There are days when you will want to throw in the towel. There are days when you will feel like life is too heavy, too unfair, too much, and I won't sugarcoat it. Those days will come. But here's the secret that nobody tells you. Those are the days that matter the most. Those are the days when champions are made. Those are the days when you separate yourself from the people who give up and the people who go all the way. The people who succeed are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who struggled and refused to quit. They are the ones who said, I will face this. I will fight. I will grow. I will keep going no matter what. And that, my friend, is the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. I want you to think about your dreams for a moment. Think about that breakthrough you're waiting for, the life you want, the success you crave, the moment when everything changes. Do you think that moment comes without effort? Do you think it comes without struggle? No. It comes because you've gone through the fire. It comes because you faced challenges and kept moving forward anyway. It comes because you've embraced the struggle and allowed it to make you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Every obstacle you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. Every challenge is a test of your commitment to your own vision. Every hard day is a step closer to your breakthrough if you choose to embrace it rather than resist it. And here's another truth you need to hear. The struggle is temporary, but the strength you gain from it is permanent. The struggle is the fire, and the breakthrough is the steel. Once you come out on the other side, you will never be the same. You will never think, feel, or act the same way again. The pain you experience today will become the power you use tomorrow. The tears you cry tonight will water the seeds of your success. The sleepless nights, the rejections, the doubts, they are all investments in the person you are becoming. And I promise you this, when your breakthrough finally comes, it will feel effortless because you will be ready for it. You will have been forged by the struggle, and nothing in the world will be able to shake you. Some of you are afraid of the struggle. You think if you embrace it, it will never end. You're wrong. The struggle is not permanent. It's purposeful. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It exists to prepare you for what comes next. Every time you feel pain, every time you feel resistance, every time you feel like you can't take another step, remember this: the struggle is working in your favor. The struggle is not the enemy. It is the vehicle through which your dreams travel. It is the bridge between where you are now and where you are meant to be. And the moment you embrace it fully, the moment you accept it as part of your journey, that's when everything changes. I need you to hear me clearly. Life is not about waiting for the storm to pass. Life is about learning to dance in the rain. Life is about leaning into the discomfort, the chaos, the challenges, and saying, I'm not afraid. I am stronger than this. I will not be broken. I will not quit. The struggle is your invitation to greatness. The struggle is the sign that you are alive, that you are trying, that you are on the path to something bigger than yourself. And the beautiful thing about it is that the moment you embrace it, the moment you stop resisting, the moment you stop wishing life were easier, the moment you start seeing the struggle as your teacher, your ally, your greatest opportunity, that's when transformation begins. That's when your breakthrough starts taking shape even before you see it. So I want you to make a choice today, a choice that will change everything. Decide that from this moment forward, you will embrace the struggle. Decide that you will stop running from the hard days. Decide that you will see every obstacle, every challenge, every rejection, and every painful moment as a stepping stone to your breakthrough. Decide that you will grow through the pain, learn from the struggle, and let it shape you into the person you were meant to become. Decide that your struggle will not define you, but it will refine you. And finally, never forget this. Your breakthrough is coming, but it will not come to those who run from the struggle. It will come to those who embrace it, who face it head on, who keep showing up even when it's hard, who refuse to give up, and who understand that the process is just as important as the destination. Embrace the struggle, my friend, because that is the only way you will find the strength, the wisdom, and the power to reach the life you've been dreaming of. Keep going, stay strong, and trust the process. Your breakthrough is on its way. Listen to me carefully, because this is where most people fail, and it's not because they don't have talent. It's not because they don't have dreams. It's not because they don't have the desire. It's because they are waiting for perfection. They are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect skills, the perfect resources, the perfect timing. And I'm here to tell you something that will shake you to your core. Perfection does not exist. Perfection is a trap. Perfection is a myth. Perfection is the enemy of progress. And if you wait to be perfect before you take action, before you chase your dreams, before you show up every day, you will never reach your breakthrough. You have to understand something very powerful. Consistency beats perfection every single time. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up. It's about doing the work. It's about taking the steps, even when you don't feel ready. It's about committing to the process day after day without fear, without excuse, without hesitation. I want you to think about this for a second. Some of the most successful people in the world didn't start at the top. They didn't wake up one morning fully prepared to take on the world and execute flawlessly. No, they woke up, they stumbled, they failed, they made mistakes, they failed, they were imperfect, but they kept going. They kept showing up, they kept grinding, they kept pushing because they understood something that so few people understand. If you do something consistently, if you put in the work every single day, no matter how small the steps, those small steps compound over time. And eventually, they create massive results. The small efforts you make today, the disciplined choices you make today, the consistency you maintain today, they are the bricks that build the foundation of your breakthrough tomorrow. Let me tell you something real. I've seen people with talent walk away from their dreams because they were waiting to be perfect. They thought, I can't start until I know everything. They thought, I can't begin until I have all the resources. They thought, I can't take action until the stars align. And by the time they realized that nothing is ever perfect, the opportunity had passed them by. Don't let that be you. Don't let the pursuit of perfection paralyze you. Don't let the fear of making mistakes stop you from moving forward. Because the truth is, mistakes are part of the journey. Failure is part of the journey. Missteps, wrong turns, setbacks, they are all part of the process. But consistency, that relentless, unyielding, daily commitment to showing up, that is what will carry you through when others quit. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a runner training for a marathon. You think they start out perfect? No way. The first day, they may barely run a mile. The first week, they might feel like they're going to collapse. The first month, they might think, I'm never going to make it. But they show up. They run a mile. They stretch. They do the work. They repeat it day after day, month after month, week after week. And eventually something miraculous happens. Their endurance builds, their strength grows, their body adapts. And when race day comes, they cross the finish line with power and confidence, not because they were perfect, but because they were consistent. Their results are not the result of perfection. They are the result of persistent, consistent action. That is the lesson for you. That is the message for you. Consistency over perfection is what will take you to the next level. Now, let me get even more real. I know some of you are struggling right now. You are looking at your dreams and thinking, I'm not good enough. I'm not ready. I don't have what it takes. And maybe that's true if you're waiting for perfection. But if you focus on consistency instead, you shift your perspective. You realize that progress is made through action, not through flawless execution. You realize that showing up even with flaws, even with doubts, even with fear is enough to create momentum. You realize that the very act of showing up daily, of putting in the work repeatedly, is what separates the people who succeed from the people who fail. Talent will only take you so far. Motivation will only carry you so far. But consistency, relentless consistency, day after day, week after week, month after month, that is what creates results that last. I want you to hear me loud and clear. You do not need to be perfect to start. You do not need to have everything figured out. You do not need to have the perfect plan. You do not need to wait for the perfect conditions. All you need is a commitment to consistency. Show up, take the next step, do the work, and then repeat it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. That's how empires are built. That is how businesses are grown. That is how careers are launched. That is how dreams are realized. It is the accumulation of small, consistent actions over time that leads to extraordinary results. Think about the compounding effect for a moment. A single effort might not seem like much. 1 hour of study, one phone call, 1 mile run, 1 page read. On its own, it may appear insignificant. But when you do that same effort consistently over weeks, months, and years, it compounds into exponential growth. The results you are looking for are not in the one-time effort. They are in the repeated, consistent effort. That is why consistency beats perfection every single time. You don't have to get it right today. You just have to show up today. You don't have to have it all together today. You just have to keep moving today. And when you do that day after day, week after week, month after month, you will look back and realize that you have achieved far more than you ever imagined, simply because you were consistent. And here's the kicker. Consistency builds confidence. It builds belief in yourself. Every time you show up, every time you follow through, every time you do the work, even imperfectly, you reinforce the idea that you can trust yourself. You prove to yourself that you are capable. You prove to yourself that you can endure. You prove to yourself that you can overcome obstacles. That self-trust is invaluable. That confidence is what will carry you through the tough days when motivation fades. That confidence is what will make you unstoppable. And that, my friend, comes from showing up consistently, not from being perfect. Let me tell you something else. People will try to tell you that you need to have it all figured out. People will try to tell you that you need to wait for the right moment. People will try to tell you that if you make mistakes, you're failing. Ignore them. Those voices are distractions. They are excuses in disguise. What separates winners from losers is a willingness to take imperfect action consistently. It's the willingness to get up every day and do the work even when you feel inadequate. It's the willingness to fall, get back up, and keep moving forward. That's what separates ordinary people from extraordinary people. And I want you to be extraordinary. I want you to think about your future self. Imagine yourself 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Imagine the life you want, the results you desire, the person you want to become. Now ask yourself, are you willing to do the small, consistent work today to become that person? Are you willing to take imperfect action now, knowing that it will compound into massive results later? Are you willing to prioritize showing up over waiting for perfection? If your answer is yes, then you are ready for greatness. If your answer is no, then you are choosing to stay where you are. And that's a decision only you can make. But know this, the people who succeed are not the ones who waited for perfect conditions. The people who succeed are the ones who started, kept going, and refused to quit, no matter how imperfect the journey. I want to leave you with this truth. Your dreams are not waiting for you to be perfect. The world does not reward perfection. The universe does not say come back when you're flawless. The universe rewards action. The universe rewards persistence. The universe rewards consistency. Show up every day. Do the work. Take the imperfect steps. Keep moving forward. And I promise you results will come. Not because you are perfect, but because you are consistent. Not because you have all the answers, but because you refuse to quit. Not because the path is smooth, but because you keep walking it anyway. So from this moment forward, I want you to make a commitment. A commitment to yourself, to your future, to your dreams. A commitment to consistency over perfection. A commitment to showing up every day, to doing the work, to putting in the effort, no matter how small or imperfect it may seem. Because those small, consistent actions, repeated over time, will build momentum. And that momentum will carry you through the tough days. That momentum will push you closer to your breakthrough. And that momentum will eventually catapult you into the life you've been dreaming of. Remember, consistency over perfection is not just advice. It is the key to success. It is the difference between quitting and winning. It is the bridge between your current reality and your desired future. It is the engine that drives your progress, the fuel that powers your dreams, and the anchor that keeps you steady in the storms of life. Show up consistently. Work hard consistently. Keep moving consistently. And watch how life rewards you, not because you were perfect, but because you refuse to give up. Listen to me very carefully, because this is something most people don't understand. Patience is not a weakness. Patience is not sitting around waiting for life to hand you your dreams. Patience is a superpower. Yes, I said it, a superpower. Because the truth is, in a world that moves fast, in a world that glorifies instant gratification, in a world that tells you to get it now or never, the people who master patience are the ones who achieve greatness. The people who master patience are the ones who hold on when everyone else is giving up. The people who master patience are the ones who understand that your breakthrough will come, but it doesn't arrive on your schedule. It arrives on the right schedule. And if you don't have patience, you will never be ready to receive it. I want you to think about the trees. Yes, the trees, they don't grow overnight. They start as seeds, tiny, fragile, and vulnerable. They face storms, drought, scorching sun, and freezing nights. Yet they grow slowly, steadily, inch by inch, until one day they stand tall, strong, unshakable. And no one looks at a mighty oak and says, "Why didn't you grow faster?" No, you admire because it endured. You respect it because it took time. You see, your life is no different. Your dreams, your breakthrough, your success, they will not happen overnight. They require patience. They require endurance. They require faith that your efforts, repeated consistently, will eventually yield the results you're longing for. I know some of you are struggling because you feel like your life is moving too slowly. You're working hard, grinding, sacrificing, putting in the effort, and yet the results aren't showing. You start asking yourself, "Oh, why is it taking so long? Am I doing something wrong? Will this ever pay off?" And I want you to listen closely. You are not failing. You are not behind. You are in the process. You are in the preparation. And every second, every day, every month you spend building, learning, and growing is shaping you for the moment when your breakthrough finally arrives. Patience is the bridge between your hard work today and your success tomorrow. Without it, your work is wasted. With it, your work becomes unstoppable. Let me tell you a story. I remember a time in my own life when I wanted everything to happen immediately. I was hungry for success, hungry for recognition, hungry for results. I was putting in the work, grinding hard, doing everything I could, but nothing seemed to be happening. Doors kept closing. Opportunities didn't show up. People doubted me, and I thought, maybe I'm not meant to succeed. Maybe I'm not good enough. And then one day, someone told me something I never forgot. Wait, your breakthrough is coming. Be patient. At first, I didn't understand. I wanted to scream. I wanted it now. I wanted it yesterday. But over time, I learned that those words were true. The very things I was struggling through, the very patience I was forced to practice, were preparing me for a moment I couldn't even imagine. And when that moment came, I was ready. I had grown, I had learned, I had developed strength, wisdom, and resilience that only patience could build. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Patience is hard. Waiting is painful. I feel like I'm stuck, and I'm not gonna lie to you. It is hard. It is painful. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when you feel like life is unfair, when you feel like everyone else is moving faster than you. But those moments are testing you. Those moments are strengthening you. Those moments are asking you a question. Do you trust the process? Do you believe in yourself? Can you wait long enough to receive what you've been working for? The people who succeed are not the ones who get everything instantly. They are not the ones who find luck by chance. They are the ones who endure. They are the ones who stay committed. They are the ones who understand that patience is not inactivity. It is active preparation. Patience is not giving up. It is holding on tighter. I want you to think about a farmer. A farmer plants seeds in the ground. He waters them, nurtures them, protects them from pests and weeds. But he cannot force them to grow faster. He cannot rush the rain. He cannot speed up the sunlight. All he can do is be patient. And when the time is right, when the conditions are perfect, those seeds sprout, grow, and produce a harvest far greater than he ever imagined. That, my friend, is exactly how your life works. You are planting seeds every day with your effort, your discipline, your consistency. Some seeds take longer to grow. Some seeds need more care. Some seeds need more time. But if you trust the process and practice patience, your harvest will come. And when it does, it will be massive. It will be worth every single day you wait. Here's the thing about patience that most people miss. It's not passive. Patience is active. Patience is not sitting around doing nothing, hoping for something to happen. No, patience is grinding quietly, working diligently, learning, improving, sharpening your skills, expanding your knowledge, building your character, and preparing for the moment when the breakthrough will arrive. Patience is showing up even when you don't feel like it. Patience is believing even when the evidence isn't there yet. Patience is acting as if your dreams are inevitable, even when the world around you says otherwise. That's the kind of patience that changes lives. That's the kind of patience that creates legends. That is the kind of patience that leads to your breakthrough. Think about this. Every single great achievement in history required patience. Every successful business, every iconic athlete, every world-changing artist, every influential leader, they all practiced patience. They all faced moments when things weren't happening fast enough. They all faced setbacks, failures, and doubts. But they didn't quit. They stayed committed. They stayed consistent. They stayed patient. And that patience gave them the perspective, the wisdom, and the strength to turn their vision into reality. Your life is no different. Your dreams are no different. Your breakthrough is no different. You must learn to trust the timing of your life, to trust the process, to trust yourself, and to understand patience is not optional, it's essential. Now, let me be clear about something. Patience does not mean you stop taking action. Patience does not mean you stop grinding. Patience does not mean you give up on your dreams. Patience means you keep working, keep learning, keep improving, keep moving, even when results aren't immediate. Patience means you trust that the work you are doing today is building the foundation for the success of tomorrow. Patience means you hold on longer than everyone else. Patience means you understand that time is not your enemy, it is your ally. I want you to hear me loud and clear. The people who quit too early, the people who give up when things get hard, the people who lose faith when results don't come immediately, they will never see their breakthrough. They will never reach their potential. They will never experience the life they dreamed of. But the people who endure, the people who hold on, the people who trust the process, the people who understand that patience is a superpower, they will see their dreams come to life. They will achieve greatness. They will achieve greatness. They will break through every barrier, every obstacle, every limitation that life throws at them. And here's the secret that nobody tells you. Patience teaches more than time ever could. Patience teaches strength. The lessons you learn while waiting, while enduring, while holding on, those lessons will serve you for a lifetime. They will prepare you for challenges you cannot yet see. They will prepare you for success you cannot yet imagine. That is why patience is not a weakness. It's the superpower that will carry you through the storms of life and into the breakthroughs you have been dreaming of. So, I want you to make a decision right now. Decide that you will no longer rush. Decide that you will no longer panic when things don't happen immediately. Decide that you will no longer compare your journey to anyone else. Decide that you will embrace patience as your ally, as your weapon, as your superpower. Decide that you will trust the process even when you cannot see the finish line. Decide that you will hold on, grind, endure, and persevere, knowing that your breakthrough is coming. Remember this, your breakthrough is not late, it is on time. It is coming at the perfect moment, the perfect season, the perfect conditions, and it will arrive when you are ready to handle it. But if you quit, if you lose faith, if you stop believing, you will miss it. Patience is what keeps you in the race. Patience is what allows you to endure. Patience is what prepares you for the victory that is waiting for you. Without patience, you will never reach it. With patience, you will achieve more than you ever dreamed possible. So, from this moment forward, I want you to make patience your superpower. I want you to embrace it, nurture it, and practice it daily. I want you to understand that the moments that feel slow, the moments that feel frustrating, the moments that test your endurance, they are all part of the process. They are all shaping you, molding you, preparing you, and strengthening you for the breakthrough that is coming. Hold on, keep grinding, keep believing, and know this, your breakthrough is closer than you think. It is coming, it is inevitable. And when it arrives, you will be ready because patience has prepared you for greatness. Listen to me very carefully because this is one of the most important lessons you will ever hear. Setbacks are not the end of your story. They are the turning points, the lessons, the signals that your breakthrough is closer than you think. But here's the hard truth. Most people don't see it that way. Most people see setbacks as failures, as signs that they are not good enough, as reasons to quit. And that is exactly why they never succeed. But I'm here to tell you, if you want to achieve greatness, if you want to reach your dream, if you want to see your breakthrough, you have to learn from every setback. You have to embrace it. You have to study it. You have to let it teach you because every setback carries wisdom and every setback is an opportunity for growth. I want you to understand something very important. Setbacks are not personal attacks. They are not punishments. Life is not conspiring against you. Setbacks are simply feedback. They are signals from life telling you, hey, you're not done yet. You got more to learn. You got more to prepare for. And if you refuse to learn from them, if you refuse to take the lessons, if you refuse to rise after each fall, you will stay stuck. But if you embrace them, if you extract every lesson, if you adjust your approach, then every setback becomes a step forward, a necessary step on the journey to your success. Let me tell you a story about my own life. I have faced more setbacks than I can count. Times when doors slammed in my face. Times when people doubted me. Times when I gave everything I had and the results were nothing but disappointment. And I'll be honest with you, those moments hurt. They cut deep. They made me question myself. They made me feel like giving up. But here's what I realized. Those setbacks were not the end. They were the lessons. They were the preparation. Every no I received, every failure I experienced, every time life seemed to say, and not yet, it was shaping me. It was making me stronger. It was making me stronger. It was teaching me to be resilient. And the moment I embraced that perspective, the moment I stopped seeing setbacks as obstacles and started seeing them as opportunity, everything changed. My failures became my teachers. My challenges became my fuel. My setbacks became my stepping stones. Think about every great person you admire. Do you think they reached their level of success without setbacks? Absolutely not. Michael Jordan didn't become a basketball legend without being cut from his high school team. Oprah Winfrey didn't become a media mogul without facing abuse, poverty, and rejection. J.K. Rowling didn't write a best-selling series without being rejected by multiple publishers. Every great success story is filled with setbacks, failures, and moments of doubt. But the difference between those who succeed and those who quit is how they respond to those setbacks. They learn, they adapt, they improve, and then they rise stronger, better, and more prepared than ever. Now, I know some of you are sitting there thinking, my setbacks feel too big. I can't recover. I feel like I'm stuck. And I hear you. I feel that. But let me tell you something. You are stronger than you think. You are capable more than you realize. The setbacks you face today are temporary. They are not permanent. They do not define you. They are simply tests. And how you respond to them will determine whether you succeed or fail. Every setback is a chance to reflect, to analyze, to adjust, and to come back stronger. Every setback is a lesson in disguise. Every setback is a hidden opportunity waiting for you to discover it. I want you to imagine a boxer in the ring. He gets knocked down. The bell rings. He's on the canvas, hurt, battered, bruised. And in that moment, he has a choice. He can stay down, he can give up, or he can get back up. Shake off the pain, focus on his strategy, and fight with everything he has. That boxer doesn't win because he never got hit. He wins because he learned from every hit. He adapted, he improved, he came back stronger. Life works the same way. Every setback, every failure, every disappointment, you get knocked down. But what you do next determines your future. Learn from it, grow from it, and then rise higher than you ever imagined. Let me be clear about something. Learning from setbacks is not always easy. It requires humility. It requires reflection. It requires honesty. You have to be willing to look at what went wrong, not to blame yourself, not to punish yourself, but to understand. You have to ask yourself, what can I do differently next time? What did this teach me? How can I improve? And when you do that consistently, you develop a mindset that is unstoppable. You develop resilience. You develop wisdom. You develop a growth mindset that no obstacle can break. Some of you are afraid of failure, afraid of setbacks. You think, if I fail, people will judge me. If I fail, I'll lose respect. If I fail, I'll lose everything. Let me tell you something. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Failure is part of the journey. Every setback, every mistake, every no is teaching you something invaluable. And the moment you embrace that truth, the fear disappears. Stop worrying about failing and start focusing on learning, growing, and improving. You start seeing setbacks as opportunities instead of obstacles. And that, my friend, is when transformation begins. I want you to picture a river cutting through a mountain. The water doesn't stop when it hits a rock. It doesn't scream at the obstacle. It doesn't give up. It flows around it, over it, through it, until eventually carves a path through solid rock. That is the power of persistence. That is the power of learning from setbacks. The obstacles in your path are not meant to stop you. They are meant to shape you, refine you, and teach you how to navigate the journey. The moment you stop resisting the lessons and start learning from them, you become unstoppable. Think about your dreams for a moment. Think about the life you want, the success you crave, the impact you desire. Now think about the setbacks you faced. Every rejection, every disappointment, every obstacle, every failure is part of the process. It is not a sign that you are not meant to succeed. It is proof that you are in the arena. It is proof that you are trying. It's proof that you are growing. And if you choose to learn from every setback, you will come out on the other side stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you ever thought possible. I want you to hear this clearly. Setbacks are not permanent. They are temporary. They are part of your journey, not the end of it. The people who quit too early never see their breakthrough. The people who give up after the first failure never reach their potential. But the people who learn from every setback, who analyze, who adjust, who grow, they go on to achieve greatness. They rise higher. They achieve more. They make the impossible possible. And that, my friend, is exactly what you need to do. Now, I know some of you are thinking, I've been knocked down so many times. I'm tired, I'm frustrated. I don't know if I can get up again. I feel that. But let me remind you of something very important. Every time you get back up, every time you learn from a setback, every time you push forward despite the pain, you become stronger. Every setback you overcome is a victory. Every failure you learn from is progress. Every obstacle you navigate is preparation for the moment when your breakthrough arrives. You are being prepared, refined, and molded for the life you've been dreaming of. I want you to make a decision right now, a decision that will change everything. Decide that from this moment forward, you will no longer fear setbacks. Decide that you will no longer see failure as the enemy. Decide that you will no longer let disappointment stop you. Decide that every setback, every challenge, every obstacle will become your teacher. Decide that you will learn, grow, and rise stronger every single time. Decide that your setbacks will not define you, but they will refine you. Remember this, setbacks are not punishments. Setbacks are not the end of the road. Setbacks are signals, lessons, and opportunities. They are the universe's way of teaching you, preparing you, and shaping you for the breakthrough that is coming. The moment you embrace that perspective, the moment you stop resisting the lessons, the moment you start learning from every setback, your life will shift. Your mindset will shift. Your strength will grow. Your breakthrough will become inevitable. So from this moment forward, I want you to do one thing. Embrace every setback. Study it. Learn from it. Let it teach you, refine you, and prepare you for the life you are destined to live. Hold on. Grind, adapt, and never ever give up. Your breakthrough is coming. It's closer than you think. And the only way to reach it is to rise every time you fall, to learn from every setback, and to refuse to let anything stop you from your destiny. Listen to me closely, because this right here can change your entire life if you truly understand it. Most people are exhausted, frustrated, and stuck not because they aren't working hard, but because they are spending their energy on things they cannot control. They are worrying about opinions, stressing about outcomes, obsessing over timing, and fighting battles they were never meant to fight. And while they're busy fighting what they can't control, they're neglecting the one thing that actually determines their success: their effort, their mindset, and their discipline. If you want your breakthrough, if you want peace, if you want progress, you have to master this principle. Focus on what you can control and let go of everything else. Let me tell you something real. You cannot control people. You cannot control circumstances. You cannot control how fast success comes. You cannot control rejection, criticism, delays, or setbacks. But you can control how you respond. You can control how hard you work. You can control how you prepare. You can control how disciplined you are when nobody's watching. And the moment you shift your focus from what's outside your control to what's within it, your power comes back. Your confidence comes back. Your momentum comes back. Too many people giving away their power. They wake up stressed because of things they cannot change. They lose sleep over things they cannot fix. They lose focus over things they cannot influence. And then they wonder why they feel drained, overwhelmed, and stuck. You're tired not because the dream is too big, but because your focus is in the wrong place. You're worn out not because you're incapable, but because you're fighting the wrong battles. The moment you stop arguing reality and start working on yourself, everything shifts. Think about this for a moment. Imagine a sailor at sea. He cannot control the wind. He cannot control the waves. He cannot control the storm, but he can control the sails. He can control the direction of the ship. He can control how he navigates through the storm. And that's exactly how life works. You don't get to control the storm, but you do get to control how you sail through it. You don't get to control the obstacle, but you do get to control your effort, your preparation, and your attitude. And that's where your breakthrough lives. Some of you are waiting for conditions to improve before you give your best. You're waiting for people to support you. You're waiting for motivation to show up. You're waiting for the timing to be perfect. And while you're waiting, life is passing you by. Let me tell you something straight. Conditions will never be perfect. People will never fully understand you. Timing will never feel ideal. That's not your job. Your job is to show up anyway. Your job is to give your best anyway. Your job is to control what you can control and trust the rest. And I need you to understand this deeply. Worrying does not improve outcomes. Stress does not create solutions. Complaining does not create progress. But action does. Discipline does. Focus does. The energy you spend worrying about what might happen will be far better spent preparing for whatever does happen. When you focus on your effort instead of the outcome, you free yourself. When you focus on your habits instead of your fears, you grow. When you focus on your consistency instead of your circumstances, you become unstoppable. Let me say this clearly. Your breakthrough is not hiding in someone else's approval. It's not hiding in perfect timing. It's not hiding in luck. Your breakthrough is hidden in your daily choices, in how you show up when it's hard, in how you respond when things don't go your way, in how you work when nobody is clapping. That's what you can control, and that's what separates champions from quitters. Some of you are angry at people who didn't support you. Some of you are hurt by rejection. Some of you are frustrated because life didn't go the way you planned. Those feelings are real, but don't let them steal your focus. Don't let them drain your energy. You don't need revenge. You don't need rage. You don't need validation. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You need progress. You need growth. You need discipline, and all that comes from focusing on what you can control. Here's a hard truth. The moment you stop blaming, you start building. The moment you stop complaining, you start creating. The moment you stop focusing on what's unfair, you start becoming unstoppable. Responsibility is power. Ownership is freedom. When you take full responsibility for your effort, your mindset, and your habits, nobody can stop you. Because now your success is no longer dependent on circumstances. It's dependent on you. I want you to think about elite athletes. They don't control the referee. They don't control the crowd. They don't control the weather. But they control their training. They control their preparation. They control their focus. And that's why they perform at the highest level under pressure. Life is no different. You don't win by controlling everything. You win by mastering yourself. Some of you are trying to control outcomes instead of controlling your input. You're obsessed with results instead of effort. You're obsessed with the finish line instead of the next step. And that's why you feel anxious. That's why you feel overwhelmed. Shift your focus. Win today. Control today. Control your work ethic today. Control your attitude today. Control your discipline today. And if you do that long enough, the results will take care of themselves. Let me remind you of something powerful. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the next step. You don't need guarantees to move forward. You don't need certainty to stay committed. All you need is control over your actions. Do what you can with what you have where you are. That's not just advice, that's a strategy for success. There will be days when things don't go your way. Days when people doubt you. Days when progress feels slow. Days when the breakthrough feels far away. In those days, don't panic. Don't quit. Don't spiral. Lock in on what you can control. Your breath, your effort, your focus, your next move. That's how you survive the storm. That's how you stay grounded. That's how you keep moving forward. I want you to hear this clearly. Control is not about dominance. It's about discipline. It's about mastery. It's about knowing where to put your energy and where not to. You don't waste energy on things you can't change. You invest energy in things that can change your life. In the moment you start living like that, your stress decreases, your confidence increases, and your results improve. Your breakthrough is not waiting for the world to change. It's waiting for you to lock in, to focus, to commit, to stop leaking energy and start building momentum. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. You can focus on what you can't control and stay frustrated. Or you can focus on what you can control and start winning. That choice will determine everything. So from this moment forward, I want you to make a decision, a serious one. Decide that you will no longer waste energy on what you can't control. Decide that you will no longer let circumstances dictate your effort. Decide that you will take full ownership of your growth, your discipline, and your mindset. Decide that no matter what happens around you, you will control what happens within you. Because when you master what you can control, you become dangerous in the best way possible. You become calm under pressure. You become focused in chaos. You become consistent when others are emotional. And that is the kind of person breakthroughs are built for. Stay locked in. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Control what you can control and trust the process with everything else. Your breakthrough is not slipping away. It's being built right now by the choices you make every single day. Listen to me very carefully, because this right here separates the people who almost make it from the people who actually do. Before you ever touch your breakthrough with your hands, you have to see it with your mind. Long before success shows up in your reality, it must live vividly in your imagination. And most people fail not because they don't work hard, but because they don't see far enough. They can't picture the future when the present is painful. They can't hold the vision when the pressure shows up. But if you can learn how to visualize your breakthrough clearly, consistently, and relentlessly, you will give yourself a level of power that circumstances cannot take away. You see, your mind is not just a place where thoughts happen. Your mind is a blueprint. Whatever you build in your mind first eventually shows up in your life. Every great achievement, every invention, every movement, every success story started as a picture in someone's head long before it became real. Nobody wakes up successful by accident. Nobody stumbles into greatness. They see it first, they feel it first, they believe it first, and then they work until reality catches up with the vision. Some of you are struggling because your environment is louder than your imagination. What you see every day is discouraging you. What you hear every day is draining you. What you've been through is convincing you that more is not possible. And if you're not careful, your past will shrink your future. But visualization is how you break free from that. Visualization is how you rise above what is and stay locked into what's coming. I need you to understand this. Your breakthrough does not respond to your words alone. It responds to your belief. And belief is built through repetition in the mind. When you see yourself winning, when you see yourself disciplined, when you see yourself calm under pressure, when you see yourself successful before success arrives, you train your brain to move in that direction. Your actions start aligning. Your habits sharpen. Your confidence grows. And suddenly, opportunities you couldn't see before start showing up. Let me make this real for you. Athletes visualize the game before they ever step onto the field. They see the plays. They feel the movements. They rehearse the victory. Why? Because the mind doesn't know the difference between a real experience and a vividly imagined one. When you consistently visualize success, your brain begins to accept it as normal. And when success feels normal in your mind, you stop self-sabotaging when it shows up in your life. Some of you panic when things start going right because deep down you never saw yourself there. You didn't rehearse it mentally. You didn't believe you belonged. Visualization prepares you to receive what you're praying for. If you can't see yourself handling success, responsibility, pressure, or elevation, you will unconsciously push it away. That's why visualization isn't fantasy, it's preparation. I want you to think about this. Every night your mind replays what you feed it, fear or faith, doubt or discipline, failure or focus. If all you replay is loss, mistakes, and disappointment, your future will start to look like your past. But if you intentionally feed your mind images of growth, victory, confidence, and breakthrough, your future starts pulling you forward instead of your past holding you back. Some of you are working hard, but you're exhausted because you're working without a vision. You're grinding, but you're grinding blindly. And without vision, effort feels heavy. Without vision, discipline feels painful. But when you can see the reward, when you can feel the breakthrough emotionally, the work becomes meaningful. Pain becomes temporary. Sacrifice becomes purposeful. Visualization gives your struggle direction. Let me be clear. Visualization is not sitting around dreaming and doing nothing. That's not what this is. Visualization is pairing belief with behavior. It's seeing the goal clearly and then acting in alignment with that vision every single day. You don't visualize to escape reality. You visualize to change it. I want you to start seeing yourself waking up disciplined, seeing yourself focused, seeing yourself calm under pressure, seeing yourself saying no to distractions, seeing yourself finishing what you start, seeing yourself winning quietly before anyone claps for you. When you do that consistently, your identity begins to shift. And once your identity changes, your habits follow. Once your habits change, your life changes. Some of you are waiting for confidence to show up before you move. But confidence is built through vision and action. You see yourself doing it first, then you do it scared. Then confidence catches up. Stop waiting to feel ready. See yourself ready. See yourself strong. See yourself resilient. See yourself consistent. And then start acting like the person you keep seeing in your mind. Your breakthrough is already forming in places you cannot see yet. Conversations are happening. Conversations are happening. Opportunities are aligning. Doors are being prepared. But if your mind is stuck in doubt, you won't recognize them when they appear. Visualization sharpens your awareness. It tunes your focus. It helps you recognize opportunity instead of overlooking it. I want you to understand this deeply. Where attention goes, energy flows. If your attention is constantly on fear, delay, and disappointment, that's where your energy will go. But if your attention is locked on growth, progress, and breakthrough, your energy starts moving forward. Visualization trains your attention. It teaches your mind where to look. There will be days when nothing around you confirms the vision. Days when progress feels invisible. Days when people laugh, doubt, or walk away. Those are the days visualization matters most. Because on those days, your belief must be stronger than your environment. Your inner picture must be louder than external noise. That's how you survive the wait. Some of you quit too early because you lost the picture. You stopped seeing the end. You forgot why you started. Visualization reconnects you to purpose. It reminds you that today's pain is not permanent and today's work is not wasted. It keeps your soul engaged when your body is tired. I need you to stop visualizing worst-case scenarios. Stop replaying failure before it happened. Stop imagining rejection, loss, and disappointment as if they're guaranteed. You're rehearsing the wrong outcome. Start rehearsing success. Start seeing yourself overcoming. Start seeing yourself adapting. Start seeing yourself winning even if the path changes. Let me tell you something powerful. Your mind will believe whatever you show it repeatedly. So be intentional. Be disciplined. Guard your imagination like you guard your time. Because your imagination is not childish. It's creative power. It's the birthplace of breakthroughs. Your future self is watching you right now. The version of you who made it through. The version of you who stayed consistent. The version of you who didn't quit. That version exists, but only if you keep moving toward it. Visualization keeps you connected to that future version when the present feels heavy. So every day, see it, feel it, believe it. Walk in it mentally before it shows up physically. Visualize the discipline, visualize the growth, visualize the breakthrough, and then go to work like it's inevitable. Because when your vision is clear, your effort becomes focused. When your belief is strong, your resilience multiplies. And when your mind is locked in, nothing can stop what's coming. Keep seeing it until it becomes real. Keep believing until it becomes visible. Keep visualizing the breakthrough because it's already on its way and your mind is preparing you to receive it. Listen to me very closely because this right here can determine whether you rise or whether you slowly fade out. You can have talent, you can have vision, you can have discipline. But if you are surrounded by the wrong people, your growth will be slow. Your belief will be shaken and your breakthrough will be delayed. Environment matters. Energy matters. The people you allow into your life will either water your dream or poison. And if you want to make it to the next level, you must surround yourself with believers. Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Not everyone around you wants to see you win. Some people are comfortable with who you used to be. Some people benefit from you staying small. Some people feel threatened by your growth, and they may not say it directly, but their words, their jokes, their silence, and their lack of support will slowly chip away at your confidence. That's why you have to be intentional about who you listen to, who you spend time with, and who has access to your dreams. Believers are not just people who clap for you when you succeed. Believers are people who see something in you when you don't see it in yourself. Believers speak life when you're tired. Believers remind you who you are when you forget. Believers don't let you quit when emotions try to take over. They challenge you. They push you. They call you higher. And sometimes they believe for you until your belief catches up. I need you to understand this. Doubt is contagious, but so is faith. Fear spreads, but so does courage. Negativity multiplies, but so does discipline. The environment you live in will shape the person you become. If you're constantly surrounded by people who complain, make excuses, and settle for average, eventually that mindset will start to feel normal. But when you surround yourself with people who are disciplined, focused, hungry, and committed to grow, elevation becomes inevitable. Some of you are struggling not because you're weak, but because you're isolated. You're trying to carry a vision alone. You're fighting battles in silence. You're bleeding quietly. And isolation is dangerous. Isolation makes problems feel bigger than they are. Isolation magnifies fear. Isolation convinces you that you're the only one struggling. But when you surround yourself with believers, you realize you're not alone. You realize that struggle is part of the process. You realize that growth is uncomfortable for everyone. Let me be clear. Believers are not yes people. They don't just agree with everything you say. They don't just tell you what you want to hear. Real believers tell you the truth. They hold you accountable. They call you out when you're slipping. They challenge your excuses. They don't let you lower your standards. And that kind of support is priceless. Think about this for a moment. When your phone dies, you don't blame the phone. You plug it into a power source. When your energy is low, when your motivation is fading, when your belief is shaking, you don't need more talent. You need the right people. You need to plug into the right environment. You need voices that recharge you instead of drain you. Some of you are still listening to people who have never built anything, never sacrificed anything, never committed to anything, but they have opinions about your life. You have to be careful whose advice you take. If someone has never been where you're trying to go, they should not be directing your step. That doesn't mean you disrespect them. It means you don't let them shape your destiny. I want you to hear this clearly. Everyone cannot go with you. And that's not arrogance. It's reality. Growth requires separation. Elevation requires change. New levels require new circles. Some people are assigned to seasons, not lifetimes. And holding on to people who no longer align with your vision will cost you more than letting them go. This is not about cutting people off out of anger. This is about choosing alignment over attachment. This is about protecting your purpose. This is about surrounding yourself with people who speak possibility instead of limitation. People who push you to be better instead of comfortable. People who remind you that your breakthrough is closer than you think. I've seen it over and over again. People with potential lose momentum because they're constantly defending their dreams to doubters. They spend more time explaining themselves than executing. They spend more time proving people wrong than building what they believe in. Believers eliminate that noise. Believers create a safe space for growth. Believers let you focus on the work instead of criticism. Let me tell you something else. Sometimes believers don't come in large numbers. Sometimes it's one person, one mentor, one friend, one voice, one community, and that's enough. One believer can change everything. One believer can keep you alive when the pressure is heavy. One believer can remind you why you started when quitting feels easier. You don't need a crowd. You need a core. You need people who are disciplined when you're tired, focused when you're emotional, calm when you're overwhelmed. That's how teams win championships. That's how movements are built. That's how individuals break through limits they never thought possible. Some of you are afraid to distance yourself from certain people because you don't want to feel lonely. But let me tell you something. Being surrounded by the wrong people is lonelier than walking alone toward your purpose. At least when you're alone, you're not being pulled backward. At least when you're alone, your mind is clear. And when the right people come, they'll meet you at the level you've grown to. Believers don't just show up when things are going well. They show up in the dark seasons. They show up when progress is slow. They show up when you're questioning yourself. They remind you that the delay is not denial. They remind you that the struggle is not the end. They remind you that your breakthrough is still on schedule. I want you to think about iron sharpening iron. Pressure creates sharpness. Accountability creates strength. When you're surrounded by believers, mediocrity becomes uncomfortable. Excuses don't survive. Growth becomes a standard, and that environment will pull more out of you than you ever thought you had. You were not designed to do this alone. Even the strongest people need support. Even the most disciplined people need encouragement. Even the most focused people need reminders. Surrounding yourself with believers is not weakness, it's wisdom. So I want you to make a decision today, a serious one. Evaluate your circle. Evaluate the voices you listen to. Evaluate the energy you're surrounded by. Ask yourself honestly, do these people push me forward or do they pull me back? Do they challenge my growth or do they comfort my excuses? Do they see my potential or only my past? Choose wisely. Protect your vision. Guard your purpose. Surround yourself with believers who speak life, demand discipline, and remind you who you are when the journey gets hard. Because when you are surrounded by believers, doubt loses its grip. Fear loses its power. Quitting becomes harder than continuing. And your breakthrough stops feeling like a possibility and starts feeling inevitable. Stay close to people who see your future, not just your flaws. Stay connected to voices that push you higher, not pull you backward. Surround yourself with believers, because the right people don't just walk with you, they help carry you into the breakthrough you were always meant to reach. I need you to hear this with your heart, not just your ears. Your breakthrough is not something you are waiting on. It is something that is already moving toward you, even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, even when the days feel long and the nights feel heavy. What you've been praying for, working for, and preparing for did not stop existing just because progress feels slow. Momentum is not always loud. Sometimes it moves quietly, behind the scenes in ways you don't recognize until suddenly everything changes. Most people quit because they misunderstand the process. They think nothing is happening because nothing is visible. They assume silence means failure. They assume delay means denial. But some of the most powerful breakthroughs happen in seasons where it feels like nothing is moving. Roots grow in darkness. Strength is built under resistance. And preparation often looks like frustration before it looks like success. You have to understand this. Just because you're tired doesn't mean you're losing. Just because it's hard doesn't mean it's wrong. Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean you're off track. Growth will stretch you. Transition will challenge you. Elevation will demand more from you than you're used to giving. And if you don't recognize that discomfort is part of progress, you'll quit right before the shift happens. Some of you are closer than you think. You're not at the beginning, you're at the edge. And the enemy of your breakthrough right now is impatience. You want it now because you've been faithful. You want it now because you've sacrificed. You want it now because you've endured pain quietly. And I understand that. But timing is not punishment, it's protection. What's coming has weight. What's coming has responsibility. What's coming requires a version of you that can handle it without breaking. You're being built, not delayed. You're being prepared, not ignored. There are lessons you're learning right now that you will need at the next level. There is discipline being formed in you that comfort could never teach. There is resilience growing in you that success alone would never develop. And one day you're going to look back and realize this season was not working against you. It was working for you. I need you to stop measuring progress only by results. Sometimes progress looks like restraint. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like patience. Sometimes it looks like consistency when nobody is watching. Sometimes it looks like getting up again after another disappointment. Sometimes it looks like staying committed when emotions tell you to walk away. That is progress. And that progress is pushing your breakthrough closer with every disciplined decision you make. Let me tell you something powerful. Your breakthrough is connected to your obedience in the small things. How you show up when nobody applauds. How you work when nobody sees. How you respond when things don't go your way. Those moments matter more than you realize. You don't level up by doing extraordinary things occasionally. You level up by doing ordinary things consistently. Some of you are waiting for a sign and keep going. This is your sign. The fact that you're still here, the fact that you haven't quit, the fact that something in you refuses to give up even when it hurts, that's not an accident. That's evident. That's proof that there's something on the other side of this season worth reaching. I know it's hard to trust what you can't see. I know it's exhausting to believe when the results haven't shown up yet. But faith is not believing after it happens. Faith is believing before it happens. Faith is waking up disciplined when nothing has changed yet. Faith is staying focused when distractions are tempting. Faith is continuing to work when motivation is low. And that kind of faith moves things you cannot see. You have to stop talking yourself out of your future during moments of frustration. Stop saying it's not working when it's actually forming. Stop assuming you missed your chance when timing is still unfolding. Stop letting temporary emotions make permanent decisions. What's coming is bigger than how you feel today. There are doors being aligned that you didn't knock on. There are people being prepared to meet you at the right time. There are opportunities being shaped that require the version of you you're becoming right now. If it showed up too early, it would overwhelm you. If it came too fast, it would crush you. That's why the process matters. The process is what ensures you don't just reach the breakthrough, you sustain it. Some of you think the breakthrough is the moment things change externally, but the real breakthrough already happened internally. You're stronger than you used to be. You're more disciplined than you were last year. You're more focused than you were before the pain. You don't fold like you used to. You don't quit like you used to. That's not small. That's transformation. And external results always follow internal change. I want you to understand that deeply quitting does not mean you weren't capable. It means you got tired of waiting. But waiting does not mean wasted time. Waiting is where character is refined. Waiting is where clarity is formed. Waiting is where you decide who you really are when no one is validating you. Your breakthrough will not announce itself quietly. It will shock people who doubted you. It will confuse people who underestimated you. It will silence voices that question your consistency. But before that moment comes, you have to stay faithful in the unseen season. You have to keep showing up when it feels repetitive. You have to keep believing when it feels lonely. This is not the season to pull back. This is not the season to lower your standards. This is not the season to start doubting yourself. This is just the season to lock in, to stay disciplined, to stay humble, to stay hungry, to stay consistent. Because momentum is built in moments that feel insignificant. I need you to promise yourself something today. No matter how slow it feels, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how long it takes, you will not quit on yourself. You will not betray your future because the present is uncomfortable. You will not walk away from what you prayed for just because it's taking time. You didn't come this far to stop here. You didn't survive everything you've been through to settle now. You didn't grow this much just to give up before the reward shows up. What's ahead requires endurance, not excuses. Patience, not panic. Faith, not fear. Not fear. And when the breakthrough finally arrives, you'll realize it didn't just change your situation. It changed you. You'll stand stronger. Think clearer, move wiser. And you'll know deep in your soul that the process was worth it. So stay locked in, stay faithful, stay disciplined. Keep trusting, keep moving, keep believing, because your breakthrough is not late, it's not lost, it's not canceled, it's already in motion. So now that you've heard all of this, now that your spirit has been stirred, now that something deep inside you has been awakened, the real question is not, do you understand it? The real question is, what are you going to do with it? Because motivation without movement is just emotion. Inspiration without action fades. And this moment right here will only matter if you decide that today is the day you stop playing with your potential and start protecting it. You've come too far to doubt yourself now. You've survived things that should have broken you. You've carried weight that nobody saw. You stayed standing when quitting would have been easy. And that alone tells me something powerful about you. There is more in you than you've been giving yourself credit for. The reason this message hits you the way it does is because it's speaking to who you're becoming, not just who you've been. I need you to understand this clearly. The process was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to shape you. Every delay taught you patience. Every setback taught you resilience. Every closed door taught you discernment. Every lonely season taught you self-reliance. And every tear you cried in private watered the stream you now carry. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Nothing was meaningless. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are right where you need to be to become who you need to become. And if you can trust that, even when it hurts, even when it's confusing, even when it feels unfair, you will walk into the next chapter stronger, wiser, and more prepared than ever before. Stop letting fear tell you it's over. Stop letting doubt rewrite your story. Stop letting temporary emotions convince you to make permanent decisions. What you're building takes time. What you're becoming requires patience. And what's coming is bigger than what you've lost. There will be days when you feel tired, days when you feel unmotivated, days when the vision feels distant. That doesn't mean you are failing. That means you're human. Discipline is what carries you on those days. Commitment is what keeps you moving when feelings change. And belief is what keeps you standing when nothing around you makes sense. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to take the next step. One more day of consistency, one more decision to stay focused, one more moment of choosing discipline over distraction. Small steps done daily will take you places motivation never could. I want you to stop waiting for permission to be great. Stop waiting for validation to believe in yourself. Stop waiting for someone else to see your work before you do. You don't need approval. You need alignment. Align your actions with your vision. Align your habits with your goals. Align your mindset with where you're going, not where you've been. Let this be the moment you stop negotiating with your excuses. Let this be the moment you stop settling for average. Let this be the moment you stop shrinking to fit spaces you've outgrown. You owe it to yourself to ride. You owe it to yourself to rise. You owe it to your future to stay disciplined. You owe it to everything you've survived to keep going. And listen, the success will test you just as much as struggle did. When things start working, stay humble. When doors start opening, stay disciplined. When people start noticing, stay focused. The goal is not just to reach the breakthrough. The goal is to sustain it. And sustainability comes from character, not applause. Some people will misunderstand you when you change. Some will distance themselves when you grow. Some will question your consistency when you stop explaining yourself. Let them. Growth doesn't require permission. Purpose doesn't need approval. And your destiny is not a group decision. You didn't come this far to turn back. You didn't endure all that pain to quit now. You didn't pray for strength just to give up when it was finally being built inside you. What's ahead requires courage. What's ahead requires faith. What's ahead requires you to believe even when you don't see immediate results. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, you're going to wake up and realize something shifted. The discipline feels natural. The fear feels smaller. The vision feels clearer. The weight you once carried feels lighter. And you'll smile, not because life is perfect, but because you didn't quit on yourself. You will become living proof that patience pays off, that consistency wins, that faith matters, that trust in the process wasn't foolish, it was necessary. And when others ask how you did it, your story will give them permission to believe in their own journey. So hold your head up, tighten your focus, guard your mind, protect your energy, stay disciplined, stay faithful, stay hungry. Keep showing up, even on the days it feels pointless. Because what you're becoming is worth the wait. What you're building is worth the effort. And the breakthrough you've been praying for is closer than you realize. Trust the process, not because it's easy, not because it's fast, but because it's working. And if you stay the course, if you refuse to quit, if you keep believing when it's uncomfortable, one day you'll look back and say, I'm glad I didn't give up. Your breakthrough is coming. And when it arrives, you'll be ready. Before you walk away from this moment, I want you to pause and really feel where you are right now. Not where you wish you were, not where you used to be, but where you are. Because this version of you, tired, tested, still standing, is stronger than you realize. The fact that you are still listening, still searching, still hungry for more tells me the fire inside you is not out. It may be quiet, it may be bruised, but it's alive. And as long as it's alive, your story is not finished. You didn't go through everything you went through just to end up here. The pain had a purpose. The struggle had a reason. The waiting had meaning. And one day you'll understand that what felt like delay was actually alignment. What felt like rejection was protection. What felt like loss was redirection. Life wasn't pushing you back, it was positioning you. There were moments you almost gave up, moments you questioned everything, moments you wondered if you were foolish for believing, foolish for trying, foolish for holding on when letting go would have been easier. But look at you now, still here, still breathing, still believing, still believing. That alone is proof that something greater is ahead. You must stop apologizing for wanting more. More growth, more peace, more discipline, more purpose. Wanting more doesn't make you ungrateful. It means you're aware of your potential, and potential ignored becomes regret. But potential honor becomes legacy. There'll be people who never understand your journey. They didn't feel your pain. They didn't fight your battles. They didn't walk through your storms. So stop expecting them to validate what they never experienced. Your consistency doesn't need applause. Your discipline doesn't need approval. Your growth speaks for itself. And listen, when things finally change, don't rush to explain yourself. Let your results do the talking. Let your peace speak. Let your discipline show. You don't owe the world an explanation. You owe yourself commitment. You are not weak for needing rest. You are not broken because you feel tired. You are human. But resting is different from quitting. Pausing is different from stopping. Catch your breath if you must. But don't let go of the vision. Don't release the belief. Don't abandon the process. You have already proven that you can endure. Now it's time to trust. Trust that the seeds you planted are growing, even if you can't see them yet. Trust that the habits you're building are shaping your future. Trust that the discipline you're practicing is preparing you for what's next. This journey was never about speed. It was about strength. It was never about proving people wrong. It was about proving yourself right. And the greatest reward will not be the applause, the success, or the recognition. It will be the moment you realize you became the person you needed to become to survive the process. One day, your past self will thank you for not quitting, for waking up when it was hard, for staying disciplined when motivation faded, for choosing growth when comfort was tempting. That gratitude will heal in a quiet moment, and you'll smile knowing it was all worth it. So keep going, even when it's slow, even when it's lonely, even when it's uncomfortable. Keep going when nobody understands. Keep going when progress feels invisible. Keep going when faith is the only thing you have left. Because breakthroughs don't come to the most talented. They don't come to the loudest. They don't come to the fastest. They come to the ones who stay, the ones who endure, the ones who refuse to quit. And yes, you are still here, which means your story is still unfolding. Your purpose is still calling. Your breakthrough is still approaching. Trust the process, honor the journey, and never forget, you are becoming exactly who you need to be.